Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and today I'm taking a look at Blade Symphony. Now this is a fighting game that has been developed by Puny Human Games. Now this is a developer I'm not particularly familiar with. However, if this game is anything to go by, they seem to know what they're doing. So what is this game? Well, it's a game about swords, or blades. It's a game about dueling. So what you essentially have is you play a character of your choice and you go and fight other players. But it's not exactly that simple. In fact, this is a game that is very, very technical. It rewards skill-based play. It rewards finesse and timing. So, of course, it rewards good ping as well. But, all things considered, it is pretty good at what it does. So, just have a look at the customization options here. Now, you have 4 characters to choose from, of which you can also customize different skins and different masks. You can basically customize the appearance to a certain level. And there are a bunch of different blades to choose from. Now, some of these are unlockable by using the in-game currency called notes, or you can download them off the Steam Workshop. Now, the actual fighting moves and styles are dictated by what character you choose. The actual blades you use have no effect on the game whatsoever. In fact, everything else, aside from the character choice, is purely cosmetic. This is a good thing, because what you've essentially done here is you've allowed the players to only have an advantage over another player because their skills are just straight up better. Now, you could say that some characters could counter each other, and that could, to a certain extent, be true. However, it takes skill to play each one, and you definitely do need to learn the moves. Because, given the way the game plays, it's not going to be so easy just to button mash your way to victory, as it were. Now, we're going to have a look at some of the gameplay right here. And what you're going to notice is there's a bunch of little sort of digitized swirling sort of marks around the player. These are the attack directions. So if you're a new player, of course, you definitely want to have these. What they do is they show you the actual path that the blade will swing down. And what you have to do is just simply line it up with the enemy character. And of course then it'd be up to the opposing player to throw in a block or parry it with another attack, or even counter it. This is a game that definitely rewards timing and strategy, so knowing your character, and of course knowing the enemy as well, knowing when to strike and when not to strike is a very, very important skill, and of course something that you learn over time. Now, of course, as you'd expect, there are the typical light, medium, and heavy attacks, as well as a special area attack move, which you can see there in the bottom left corner. And these are used as and when you see fit. However, switching between the styles is a little bit more complicated, because you don't so much as to time when you perform the action. However, you have to know how many frames it's going to take to execute each attack. So, when you take the swing, you can immediately line up the next move in the combo, and your character will follow suit. However, you have to know how it's going to happen. So that's the tricky part. What you are doing as an input might not necessarily reflect what's happening on the screen, so it's very, very strategic at that point. But it's also where things start to get a little bit confusing. So, like I had mentioned at the beginning, this is not your typical fighting game. Although it is still a fighting game at heart, and it does still have all the hallmarks of a typical fighting game, it definitely isn't just the typical one that you could pick up. This is a very niche title, if you will. While it is certainly competent at what it does, I haven't noticed any particular game-breaking bugs. There are a few issues with the ragdolls, physics, and a couple of the animations aren't always the best. In fact, I have noticed a couple of bugs in the animations too, particularly at high latencies and at lower frame rates as well. But they don't seem to really affect the game all that much. It is still a pretty nice looking game, and it still functions competently at what it does. But is it any good? like I said, it's a niche title. It's a sort of title that, if you are a perfectionist and you like that sort of skill-based play, you like high finesse gameplay, this is definitely going to be one that you might be interested in checking out. If you're looking for a sort of blade-based fighting game, maybe a hack and slash sort of title, this is definitely not that. This is just the sort of game that a particular type of person might enjoy playing. Personally, it's not my sort of pick. In fact, if I wanted a game with sort of swords and fighting and a bit of visceral combat, as it were, because this game doesn't really have as much feedback as I would like for a game, no, a fighting game, rather. If I wanted sort of visceral combat, I would probably play maybe medieval warfare, chivalry medieval warfare, simply because that's less technical but a lot more, I would say, fun. This game is definitely something that's very, very serious. I wouldn't mark it down on those grounds alone, but I can see that maybe not everybody would enjoy that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. My name is Panzer, taking a look at Blade Symphony, now available on Steam for $14.99 or your regional equivalent. A very special thank you to a good friend of mine, Jenny. You can see her in the video here as my partner throughout this playtest for the multiplayer aspect of Blade Symphony. A link to her channel will be in the description below. She does a lot of Let's Plays and is a particularly interesting character on her own, so go and check out her content. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.